We've got positive news that just came out with the XRP case. We've learned what the big problem is. Gary doesn't have any friends. And Binance is coming out there to launch a government CBDC on the BNB chain. And don't let the FUD get you down. What if I told you institutional investing is up? Yes, everyone, big money is in crypto. Let's leave this screen and go into this one. We got the heat map up. Right now we're seeing the crypto market rally. And the reason why it's rallying has to do with bad economic data from the United States. Yes, everyone, bad data is driving the crypto markets up. Why is bad data doing that? Pretty simple. Bad data means that the actions from the Fed, right? They're jacking up the rates, 75, 75, 75, is actually working. So the more bad news we get about the US economy cooling down, that means cryptos will be heating up. Why? Because it means the Fed won't have to put as much pressure on the economy going forward. But we're looking for a 75 basis point hit coming up on the 2nd of November. All right, let's get into it. Kazakhstan, CBDC to integrate into Binance's BNB chain. All right, now think of how positive that news is for Binance, right? Kazakhstan, their government, they already started a CBDC project, and they're like, hey, look, we need to take this to the next level. To do so, we need some help from our main man, CZ and BNB. Now, CZ and BNB, they're going to help with adoption. They're going to help with all like the technical stuff of it, and they're going to help with the launch of the CBDC. So, big news for BNB in Kazakhstan, but look at the price on the heat map, everyone. If we go to BNB, we can see right here, they're pretty much break even. They're down only 0.5%. So think about that. The news really doesn't do much for you. It's all about those macroeconomic events. Now getting on to the juice. Fidelity says more institutional investors are holding on to crypto. This is from Bloomberg. Institutional acceptance of cryptocurrencies increased this year, even as prices tumbled as more investors began to view digital assets as worthwhile holdings, according to Fidelity Investment Survey. Here's the stat for you that should let you know that the FUD out there, right, from all the big governments, right, all the big business people, it's just to get you out of crypto. Nearly 60% of institutional investors surveyed said they were interested in digital assets in the first half of the year, a 6-point increase from the last year. Now, mind you, more people want to own crypto in the institutional side, even though we're in the middle of a bear market, okay? So as these prices are going down, as all the pressure is happening on crypto, the big money, the smart money out there, the institutional investors are going, yeah, we want to own more crypto. See, everyone, the FUD is just out there to scare you away so that you get out of crypto so the big money can buy your stuff cheap and make money off of your fear. Speaking of fear, I don't think someone has any friends, and that someone is Gary Gensler. So if you're lonely out there and you've tried all those online dating sites and they're not working, how about you just send an email to Gary and say, hey, Gary, I'll be your friend. SEC finally bows to this motion. What could be next for Ripple? Recently, things started to take shape, and people on both sides, in and outside the crypto community, have predicting outcomes based on the way things are. Yep, the SEC did release the Hinman documents. Yeah. Now, granted, they are kind of kept under wraps. We're not allowed to see them as the public, but the Ripple Labs team has seen them, and they said, this is completely deplorable. This is disgusting, but we got the documents. Hopefully, we'll get to see what they are, and they're made public somewhere down the road. But Amicus curiae action. All right, so we know that the SEC has been totally fighting back against every single chance they have. Any chance the SEC has, they file for a motion and opposition, blah, 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 in order to delay things. Well, guess what, everyone? That's not happening right now. The SEC stopped. The SEC finally approved Amicus curiae after raising multiple complaints against it. According to recent development, this information was provided in a tweet that described the letter to the SEC delivered to Judge Annalisa Torres. So yes, the SEC has finally given up on their fight to stop people from those amicus briefs, right? Which is important because those are the ones being filed in support of Ripple Labs and XRP. And I've got the tweet right here because, as always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. This is from James K. Filan. The SEC takes no position on the motions to file amicus briefs by the Investor Choice Advocates Network and Spend the Bits, but requests that it be able to respond in the reply brief in support of the SEC's motion for summary judgment. Here's the letter for you. Oh, and if you wanted to see CZ's tweet about Binance being the BNB chain, CBC, DPOPPP, whatever you want to call it, that's also linked in this article as well. But now on to the big problem that we have. And here is the big problem, everyone. Gary Gensler does not have a friend, and I gotta share this with you. Following a rise in the number of companies attempting to submit motions in Ripple's favor in the lawsuit, attorney Jeremy Hogan, a partner at Hogan Hogan Law Firm, took to Twitter asking why the SEC has not yet found a friend to back its case. Yes, that's right. Why is it? And you know what? Let's go big screen. So we gotta ask ourselves, why is it that the SEC doesn't have any friends filing for them? Think about it. All the support that we've seen from the case is coming for the side of Ripple Labs XRP, but we see nothing for the SEC, so maybe that's really the big problem all along. This had nothing to do with securities laws. This had nothing to do with any financial shadiness, any wrongdoings, nothing like that. Gary just doesn't have a friend, everyone, and that's what Gary's mad about. So Gary wants to tie all this up into court so he has people to play with, right? And that's why they delay this, so Gary keeps having people to play with. It's really sad, but I'm glad that we finally exposed the true nature of this case, that Gary Gensler and the SEC has no friends. No, but in all seriousness, it's good that the SEC has finally given up this fight. It's great that they gave up the Hinman stuff, and it's important to see now that we're learning that institutional level investors are like, hey, there's FUD out there, don't get into crypto, but we're gonna get into it and we're gonna buy your stuff really cheap because we're gonna scare you out of it. And CBDCs going forward being run on actual chains like BNB chain. Oh, interesting. Maybe there's gonna be some other governments out there that want to run CBDCs directly on a chain rather than a privatized chain, which doesn't help any of the holders out there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Check out this badass crypto Web3 video right here. I'll catch y'all later.